talking of funny, ladies and gentlemen, I always love making fun of the stupid. Okay.
Sexual deviant, a putz.
I like that. Yeah. That was look at that, Wayne Allen Root making a cameo appearance on our show, the lovely Wayne Allen Root. Anyway, yeah, he did call me a putz. But there are some pretty dumb people out there in the world, as you know, and some of those people get into physical confrontations at a local at a Red Lobster. Our producer Jason Stein, rightfully so, has been very entertained by this story. Jason, what can you tell us?
It happened in Pennsylvania. And it's one of these viral videos, and I have to say, whenever people lose all semblance of civility and society breaks down over Cheddar Bay biscuits and crab Alfredo, I'm going to find it very, very funny. And I think I'm not alone in that.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, so here, let me just set this up real quick, and then we'll play a little audio. Basically, like I said, Pennsylvania, Red Lobster, there's a crowd of people that are waiting for their to-go orders at the restaurant. Now, apparently, they have a slimmed-down staff because of the coronavirus pandemic. So they're running on a skeleton crew, if you will, and they're trying to fulfill the orders as fast as they can. Well, apparently the wait was a little too long for this woman, and she tried to actually barge into the restaurant and demand her money back, and that's when all hell broke loose.
Get out! Get out! No! Stop it! Hey, get from my body back! You will get it! Get out! Get out! Get this off me! No! Get out! You get your
Hey, let go of her hair! Let go of her hair!
Hey! Stop! Stop! Tiffany! Stop! That is enough! Stop! I was assaulted and I have a whole crowd to you hit her first! She's been shoving up on me the whole time! Where's my glasses?
Boy. So,
can you explain to the listeners what the visual of what?
I mean, so it's a woman, maybe a little bit on the Rubenesque side, squat, if you will, yoga pants, tight yoga pants.
A woman on the Rubenesque side?
Never heard that word in my life.
That is a word.
What does that mean? Look like Paul Rubin? What are you talking about?
Look it up.
Paul Rubens.
She was really packed into those yoga pants, and nothing wrong with that. And anyway, so she was pretty pissed off. She was demanding her money back. And if you look at the video, you'll see like the employees of the Red Lobster are saying, "You'll get your money back, ma'am. You will get your money back. Just wait, be patient. We will refund your money, but you cannot come in this store." So she tries to barge into the Red Lobster, and some of the people in the crowd, maybe some of the employees, restrain her by grabbing her hair, and that's why you hear that person going, "Don't grab her hair! Don't grab her hair!" Anyway, long story short, I guess the police were called, and they did catch up with her, and I don't know what ended up happening, but Red Lobster did apologize for the incident because they think obviously they never want any of their customers to be unhappy, and they said they're going to look into it. Now, I will say this, as ridiculous as everybody in that scenario was, especially the customer, maybe Red Lobster shouldn't be open if they really can't fulfill the orders, and people are waiting for hours to get their food. Maybe they weren't ready to reopen, right?
Yeah, that's possible.
That never excuses that kind of behavior. You simply say, "I want my money back." You don't barge in.
I see this. Let me tell you something.
And threaten violence.
Maybe I don't see physical confrontations, but I see dope customers all the time. I was at Smith's Supermarket yesterday, and I'm over there getting some food, and this lady in front of me in line, and this older gentleman is at the register. Seemed like a really nice guy. She didn't have her card on her to get the discounts, and I guess she said, "Can you swipe can you swipe a card for me so I could get the discount?" And the gentleman said, "Oh, I don't have one on me. I'm so sorry, man. Let me call somebody. Let me call a manager." She's like, she went nuts. "How do you not have that on you? How do you not have that on me?" I looked at her and I said, "What the hell?" This is what I did because I can't control myself, as you know. I looked at her.
I do know that. Yeah.
I looked at her and I said, "What the hell is wrong with you? Do you realize how you're embarrassing yourself? The man is trying to help you. Why don't you shut up and let him do his job?" And she looked at me and said, "Oh, you're rude." And I said, "Oh, really? Would you like to poll everybody behind me and ask them who do you think the rude one is? Shut up and let the guy do his job." She didn't say one more word to me, and she didn't say one more word to the guy in the cash register.
Did you give yourself a pat on the back after that, Brian?
No, but it felt really good.
You
to tell
should
off.
have.
It felt really good to tell
Yeah.
off this dummy. I'll tell you that.
No, that sounded like quite the melee. It was very funny in the background. Let go of her hair.
Yeah.
That was funny. But all I can say
There's
to
a
this,
basket full of deplorables.
all I can say to this is hashtag only during quarantine.
That sounded like the strike in Michigan. Actually,
I think you're right, JD, to an extent. When I used to work in the restaurant business when I was a kid, I bussed tables and I was a host and all that kind of crap. And I remember
Did you really host tables?
I actually worked at a Red Lobster.
Can you?
No, you did not.
I literally
in Wisconsin.
in 1996.
That is delightful.
But you're Jewish. Lobsters are not kosher.
Yeah, well, I didn't have to eat them, Brian.
Oh, okay.
And I would anyway, but that's besides the point.
I knew you would.
But listen,
I was going to
listen.
ask if you broke those rules.
Listen, I used to have to deal with idiotic customers all the time, and my father used to say to me, he
Now
said,
he has to work with idiots in radio.
"That's true. I can't escape." But my father used to say to me, he said, "Hungry customers are angry customers," and he's right. When that blood sugar starts to drop, people get pissed. Now, add on top of that this unprecedented quarantine, and it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, people are a lot more testy. I think
agree.
they go from 0 to 90 a lot faster than they would have 4 or 5 months ago. Right.
It sounded to me
It,
like
it doesn't help.
It sounded to me like some of those lobsters were clawing at that lady's hair. That's what it sounded like to me. That maybe some lobsters got out of the tank and were attacking
Do you remember
people.
that 70s song, "Do You Like Pina Coladas"?
I do.
Yeah, okay. They had a CD at Red Lobster with like 10 songs on it, these 70s songs, and
Oh,
that
no.
was one of them, and the thing played on a loop. So in an 8-hour shift, you'd hear that song like 7 times, 8 times.
One of my funniest scenes in any movie.
It was a nightmare.
One of my my favorite scenes in any movie, a movie called Dirty Work, and it's with Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang. And there's a scene in a bar with Chris Farley where there's a bar fight. And while the fight happens, Chris Farley's at the jukebox, and he's trying to play a hardcore rock and roll song, and he plays the wrong song, and it's that song, and he goes, "I played the wrong song." So you got that song playing while there's a bar fight going on.
That's
It
great.
is so
That's
funny.
right.
It is so funny. It's one of the funniest scenes in any movie. It's just hilarious. But I mean, as far as Red Lobster goes, obviously you can never put your hands on anyone to begin with. Obviously, this customer was wrong. Was she arrested? Was there any arrests made in this?
Like I said, the article said something about the police were called. By the time they were called, the people involved were long gone. But then apparently they were able to catch up with her, I think, at her home. But I don't know that she was arrested, though.
I would have thrown a lobster at her face. That's what I would have done.
She's brought a smile to my face and the face of millions of people online.
You know what I want to happen to this woman who decided to physically assault an employee at Red Lobster? Here's what I want. I want, with claws, I want several lobsters to attack this woman. That's what I want. See how she likes it. See how she likes it. If you're willing to physically assault somebody, then you deserve to be assaulted yourself.
Are you talking like little lobsters or the massive lobster in
Well,
Moana?
here's why. That's a valid question.
Right.
Here's why I would say
Because some lobsters are very, very small.
this was not a small woman. So, she deserves large lobsters.
Right.
So that's what I would
Simon,
say.
if you could find any more stories involving Red Lobster or even Golden Corral, that would be delightful.
I've got plenty of Red Lobster stories,
Fantastic.
but we'll have to wait till tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, tomorrow's Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Friday. We made it through another day of quarantine, but we got a break, ladies and gentlemen. Got Sean Hannity coming up next. 21-hour break. See you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great afternoon.